us an incredibly exciting and not one-sided affair for us in Game 3, because us with the two teams that we have going on against each other, I mean, these are formidable opponents, but Daniel, we want the games to represent that.
Yes.
What?
I got nothing. But like, I'm just seeing like what this Doom's going to provide. Like, you know, standing in the way with a BKB feels kind of nice, and I feel like that's what the Shadow Fiend was there for. That even if that does happen, you're one of these position ones that can just stand your ground and right click. Right, you're not really that reliant on your spells to be able to do damage once this later stage of the game happens. But I wasn't the biggest fan of the Ember Spirit pick when it happened. I understand the justification for it, obviously wanting to have something that's able to get it onto the back lines, especially if you're able to do it pre-Lina BKB. But to me, it left the DP with only one option of where to go, and that's into the Lina lane. And I feel like Lina is exceedingly happy about that. So I'm kind of in the same boat as Kezu, right? Like, we hate the dude, we feel like it could have been a better option, but the Lina hasn't really been addressed enough. So that's where I'm sitting right now. I honestly don't have a prediction this game.
Look, I think one nice thing that Vici can look to play with in this game is the fact that they do have multiple ways, I think, to get on top of the Lina. We saw the build last game from the Death Prophet. I mean, Setsu's going to... New is going to go Blink, sorry.
But they were dominating, right? Like, are they going to be 15k ahead at 20 minutes?
If not, if FY ends up going down, or maybe it's XF that might be in a little bit of trouble. Look at the damage coming through from Tag Team, and a stick charge is not enough to keep him healthy. FY... Oh, no, not the Courier as well. One of the Dengos.
Not Scuttling Scotty. Oh, the Courier, the poor penguin.
Okay, so really quick about the Lina. I think the one nice thing for Vici is that you're going to have, I do think DP, and if you are off to a good game, now this can be completely different, but it's going to be a very similar item build to what we saw Setsu go last game. Jama's going to get some revenge with the Couriers. He's going to go like Greaves, maybe BKB into Blink. I think you 100% need the Blink to get on top of the Lina if you have a good game. And then you've got the Ember to follow suit as well. And with those multiple heroes on top of her, you lay down Global Silence, and then you can't use anything defensively. Like outside on the Rubik, we see a lot of the Aghanim Shard, and you won't be able to use that. So you can have the Global Silence to just... I think you're solely going to use it just to blow up the Lina as soon as multiple other heroes get on top of it.
Oh,
so
of course.
I think that's kind of the one play, but that's a what? How long Global Silence? 130 second cooldown at level 1? Like, it's a big cooldown. You can't do it too often.
It's a big cooldown, you can't do it too often, and Lina's going to have a BKB at some stage, so you've got a little bit of turnaround potential at least, right? There's a reason that she's picked, and that's just because she can outlay a ton of damage. It's kind of like what I was talking about, being able to address the Lina, or more importantly, have DP get out of the laning stage with a decent enough time, is why FY has gone and did what he did. He made sure to pull that second wave so that the creep aggro would reset around this tower. Yu's going to be able to pick up a lot of farm in relative safety, and I really wouldn't be surprised if FY just did a similar sort of thing again. You know, Xiaoma's doing a good job body blocking and making sure that's not going to happen. But this is the thing, whenever you're going up against a hero that doesn't have slows, that doesn't have stuns, you're free to make this pull happen, especially if it's in an unadvantageous matchup like the DP is into the Lina. Make a bit of a pull happen here. Might be able to just get it as well. The Centaur Corsa getting aggroed by FY. Will Jama be able to interrupt it, though? I mean, they're just doing everything right, both teams, honestly, in this laning stage with their positioning to make sure that these pulls don't happen, or rather that they do.
And what mid lane? Off to a pretty goddamn good start here for Setsu. 18-2 compared to 13-1.
He's really stepped his game up, hasn't he? I mean, he's been out of the scene for a little while, like we've been saying. He last real competitive stint was on RNG before some lovely time in pubs, and he's really hasn't missed a beat.
I don't think anyone has doubted Setsu's mechanical capability, but there's a lot of other things that come to a team and that need to be addressed. I think he's always been a very, very gifted position too, and we've really seen that through a lot of the games so far. So
you just have to think as well about like the style of players that he was playing on back on RNG, right? They weren't... Sorry, I'm just looking at the bottom side as Ava's trying to put a little bit of harassment onto Erica, but he should force him to back off just with the Shadow Razors going into him. All three, actually, that he's able to land. One right click.
He's going to tick out to this.
Yeah.
Last word along with the curse. Maybe kill for Yang. Some intel as well.
Oh, and a big creep wave as well coming back towards Erica, so he's going to be very, very happy just to sit down here and farm. So the point that I was making is you just think back to the previous RNG roster that he was playing with. He was playing with people like Red Panda and God King. And
XM, he's getting dived. FY with the tag team. And you got 2 points in the Spirit Siphon as well, so you can replenish this onto the Lina to help bring her down. And come on. It's going to be okay, but alright. Very big kill.
All right, teams, can I finish my point now? Looks like there's not too much action going on anywhere.
Not bottom lane?
No, not bottom lane. They're not. They're good players, but they're not gods of the scene, right? You know, like your God Kings, your Red Pandas. You compare it to this one. You're playing with Yang. You're playing with FY. Like these are really notable players that you got to show them some respect because they've earned it after years and years of competing at the very top. So I feel like that's what's going to be the difference in setting Setsu apart in this iteration of the team.
Yeah, and I think one big thing that has always been an advantage of China is just their support duo. You take a look at your previous iterations of Vici Gaming where you've had PYW and DY. You take a look at PSG LGD where you had Y and Xinkyu. I mean, of course,
even all the way back at TI4, you have Fenrir and FY together.
Yeah,
and now they're on a team. So, one's the coach, one's the player.
And with the previous rosters of Vici Gaming, Yang and FY, they lane together. Yang being the 3 and FY being the 4. So it's just going to be interesting to see like how they're able to continue with that kind of chemistry into a support kind of combination.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always the good thing. And it's a little bit of an interesting dynamic for this series as well, right? A lot of these players know how each other play because there's been some sort of combination of like at least 5 players between both teams. XM again, though, might be about to give up his 3rd death, but good positioning by Xiao Ma, dropping the smoke screen, making sure that tag team isn't getting maximum effectiveness because of all the missed chances. Enabling a little bit here. Keeps up the fiery soul stacks.
Another blink strike, and yeah, he's going to find him on top of the lane. A big kill for them to find, but the creep wave is in a horrible position. See, there's not much they can do.
Well, you just got to think perspective, you know? It's a glass half full position for you. He's like, oh, sweet. All the way back here, free to farm up. I've already hit my level 5. I'm going to hit level 6 much sooner than the Lina. He's loving life.
He's the one that's having a lovely time here. Unfortunately for the Lina, you're not really in a position where you can do too much with the creep wave like this. Some of the issues with the Ricky having some difficulties with going for the pulls. So XM's actually going to go all the way back to the junglers. And we'll see maybe how the mids can start to get involved, because Setsu's got 6 and Echoes has 6 as well. So how would we like to see kind of both the position 2s maybe unlock the side lanes?
I don't think they can do it just yet. For now, Setsu needs to deal with this siege creep that he's got in the mid lane. You leave it alone. We've seen how good players are these days of being able to address that. He's actually looking to make the rotation on Echoes while they're trying to address this with the Ember Spirit, and they might be able to get the kill onto Erica with the Rolling Thunder. They really should. Oh.
Yeah, the Requiem does kind of push them back, though. Echoes is going to have to turn his attention over towards Setsu, but even then with the haste, Setsu can easily reposition, and now he's got the capability to chase down Ava under the tower, even considering about going for outside. A little bit cautious here. Setsu has that Orb of Corrosion and maxed out Slight, but with Echo's damage coming through from the slam down, they'll be able to secure the kill. So we're 2 for 1 in the end across the map. They were able to chase down Jalma and the Ricky.
Erica's not done, though. He's gone past the tier 1 tower, just trying to get even more damage in onto that Pangolier. All the while, mid lane is just freely going away. So yeah, I like this move, putting the Ricky into the mid lane. He's there partially to be able to scout out this illusion rune, but also soak up a bit of that experience for himself. Of course, he can get those levels, and he can just be a little bit more roamy around the map as well. Yang, unfortunately for him, he might be going down here.
Setsu came back down bottom, though. Should be able to close the distance. Actually going to go for the Rubik, so Setsu looking for the +1. He'll secure the kill, and off to the left, FY also claims the kill onto Echo, so beautifully done. Vici recognizing that they were able to get the extra kill onto outside's Rubik, and with all this going on, he's been able to take the tower already. I think that Exo is used to get the kill onto the Ricky prior, and they got a lot of damage onto the tower. Then afterwards, with all that space, was able to finally bring it down. So it's a big one for them to be able to claim early on, and no reaction out of Dire.
No, for sure. I mean, XM's just been stuck in the jungle this whole time, building up stacks for himself. He's obviously gone the Fiery Soul Max build. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit of time until he's truly enabled. We will find a kill, though, onto the Pangolier, just clicking him with the very tip of the Slide of Fist there.
This is a scary start when Setsu is 3-1-1, top of the net worth and already level 8.
I mean, how many times have we seen an Ember Spirit just with the wand, the phase boots, and an Orb of Corrosion be able to do so much at this stage of the game? Two remnants as well to be able to make some aggressive plays if he wants, and they might be able to get a free pick-off here onto FY.
Probably the only pick-off they're going to get, though, with this Rolling Thunder usage, and maybe it frees up Setsu to go for the kill. They know the ultimate's expended, and Setsu, now he's got a free team fight to be able to charge them down. Remnants on over. Easy one, and now Jama's going to be the next on the chopping block. XM is trying to step in, maybe offering a little bit of extra damage with Laguna Blade. They know Setsu's out of mana. They won't be able to close the distance. Setsu's okay. Now Yang's even stepped in.
He's considering going back.
XM. They've got the slide back up shortly. Looks like XM will be okay, however.
He went for the chains combo, just wasn't able to land it. He potentially committed, but yeah, with that extra armor that he would have had underneath the tower, maybe a little bit too far.
So we'll have the shards to be able to play around with. Outside's going to end up going down. Nothing that Echoes is able to do with the Rolling Thunder on cooldown. And this is probably the big issues with this Doom. Like, what is this hero really providing you? You've done no damage to the tower. You've got the Doom available, but I think you've got to come mid to try and defend this with this Exo push. But it's not going to be easy because Dai have so much single target damage at the early stage. Doom and the Lina. And that's where this mechanism heal is going to be so impactful just to mitigate that kind of spell casting from Dire.
Yeah, true. They're actually going for a smoke attempt here just to try and catch out Lina, perhaps farming inside the jungle. They want to keep tabs on her at all times. Honestly, just those two on their own probably would have been enough to take her out now that Tusk is playing with the Walrus Punch, but they'll find the best thing, a big team fight contributor in the Rubik, and they're going to get good conversion out of this Exorcism as well to be able to take out the tower. No siege creep. And even Erica's looking to join in the fray with that Dragon Lance to be able to siege from afar.
Map is already shrinking at such a rapid rate. Every 12 minutes, his T1 tower is going to end up going down. 2 Exorcisms have converted so much for Vici Gaming.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
All right, Silver Linings, Midas up on the Doom. We love to see it.
Oh.
He's going to have that coming out to him. A little bit of damage going into the tower now, but kind of feels like he's missed a bit of his opportunity as well. As, well, it's only 3 minutes until Sleeping Dart time, but the question for me is who's actually going to be connecting through with you to be able to get kills, right? Like, Doom doesn't do the greatest job at being able to shove out lanes. Ricky doesn't either. Rubik, really dependent on what spell you're able to steal. So I feel like a big part of Pango's job is also just being able to address that. So Sleeping Dart into what, essentially, is my thoughts with how Outsiders are going to be able to play that next 5-10 minutes after they pick up that Aghanim Shard on the Ricky.
Speaking about the Ricky, it's going to be the support duo on Vici Gaming. They start the fight. They're pretty hesitant at the moment. They need the boys to show up, and Setsu's
got another haste.
Once again has a haste to work with. And look at him just playing his distances, recognizing it's going to be difficult to run into Outsiders from China, so respect them for the moment. But it does push them away from the T1 tower down bottom, and we see what they're getting out of the map. Erica shoved out mid, back to the triangle. Yu's getting a little bit of me time as well, closing in on that Grease and just waiting for the Exo to be back up to fight.
Yeah, I mean, you did that with 2 supports and a hasted Ember Spirit that's able to quickly get back and continue farming. SF was free farming, DP was free farming. So it's these little things that Vici are able to do, splitting up the map with the heroes that are strong at certain points in time, that are able to just net them that early lead. I mean, you've nearly gotten into the Guardian Greaves now on the Death Prophets, so going to provide that great sustain that you were talking about that's going to be super important against all the single target that they've got on Outsiders. And it almost essentially means that DP has to be the target of the Doom, but again, until you pick up that Blink Dagger on Ava, it doesn't feel like that's going to be the case, and that's coming after the BKB if we're led to believe his itemization is not going to be flexible at all.
It's going to take him quite some time to get towards these items with the map continuing to shrink.
Also, able to take this bottom tower. Doesn't seem like XM wants to even give it a couple of right clicks, despite having some good damage at this stage. Maelstrom, Falcon Blade, full fiery soul stacks. That might lead them to believe that they're making a gank somewhere else on the map, and you can see the lines being drawn. FY Yang and Erica feeling like they're ready to be able to find that pick off. Doom target to get as well. And of course, Lena is the #1, but they see her farming bottom, and they're actually going to pivot their attention towards her.
Did they not just smoke onto the ward? XM's still going to be caught off guard. They'll catch up the Lena inside the jungle, and I mean, that's a kill you just can't give away. This is your late game win condition hero, and XM, every single death, this is going to stall out her timings.
I'm not sure if it was under the water, if they were like in the trees next to the tower, where they were able to just avoid it a little bit, but they should have seen heroes grouping up, and they should have seen that if no one's coming to address you front on from the tower, there's probably a reason for it.
Global just for the kill onto Pango. We won't be able to find it. Okay.
Another tower got no. So mission accomplished with that silence. Don't tell me what the mission was, but they did it.
Mission was just stopping reinforcements coming down, but
Exactly.
maybe with the global silence on cooldown, we could see a fight. You got the Diffusal, you got the Rolling Thunder. I don't know if XM wants to act as a bait, and they're going to look to try and smoke and reoccupy their own triangle. Yang might be the first point of contact. They're going to miss on the swashbuckle, though. A lot of damage required to bring down the silence early. Eric is even going to use the Requiem defensively to push them away. Maybe they can use his fear duration to turn onto the Pango. As Yama shows up, but no one's nearby to be able to play with the Ricky. We'll get some at distance thanks to the pig pole. But
If it
that
didn't
was
want a bar of that. He came up, he devoured a creep, saw it was a centaur, saw that the initiation wasn't perfect, and got the hell out of there. He gets back, uses another use of his mind, and he just wants to, again, get into that blink BKB. It's really not going to be for another, 5-6 minutes until they're able to do anything on Outsiders, it seems. And it does kind of feel like they're on a little bit of a clock.
Oh no, the shards. Perfect placement. XM's just going to try and turn and bring one member to the grave with him. He will be able to do so with that last tower right click, but that is your 4th death of the game for the Lena. Almost the bottom net worth out of the cause. This is not the position you want her to be in.
No, for sure. And, I mean, it has to be said, though, she's not that far behind, despite how poor of a game she's been having so far. Oh, you can't let this happen, though. Up onto the Doom. Doesn't choose to use the Doom, and with that, and the silence leveled up, just 2 points in it, we'll be able to get this kill.
And now, they might see them in the river as well if they walk down. The Chris will get scouted out. Can you even go for this, though? You're so close to tier 1 tower. They're going to be able to TP in to protect him, and Echoes doesn't have the damage just by himself. That's the Rolling Thunder completely expended for 0 out of it. And they're going to go Roche. They've got 2 points in Exo. You can easily take this, and there's nothing that Dire can do to stop it.
No, like their team fight is essentially gone off the back of this. Again, Doom isn't ready to join in onto this yet. I'm sure Lena is more concerned about getting that BKB than joining any sorts of fights. So yeah, Roshan seems to be the play, and they're going to be able to get it without too much issue. Although they've got a Sentry Ward drop, so Xiaoma's got to be careful.
What can we expect out of this first Roche here for Vici Gaming?
I mean, you still do want to get into a state where you're not overly concerned if the Pango looks to try and jump onto you, right? That's what Erica's getting into with this this BKB. Like I was saying before, with the effectiveness of the Guardian Greaves on New, it means that he's going to go into the Kyron Sange. Of course, it's great just to be able to increase your overall damage, but the status resistance is going to be amazing as well when you know that you are going to be that Doom target.
Which we're still yet to see the Doom as well. Maybe with the BKB now on Ava, might give you an opportunity to be able to enter the team fight. You're going to have to try and turn your attention over to someone else but the Shadow Fiend, as we are seeing them start to get set up for a tier 2 defense. You have everyone though. Still XM's not here. A great chance to scout out the positioning in the tree line, and now they're trapped. They're not going to be caught off guard by it. Oh, it's actually Xiaoma that might be in trouble. A global silence lay it down, so FY can freely roll into the middle. An easy kill onto Echoes. Meanwhile, Ava's utilized the Doom over towards the Death Prophet. They're able to bring her down. XM starting to get a decent amount of damage off to the right side. They need to get on top of the Lina, and they haven't been able to do so. Finally, we're starting to see the power of this Dire lineup, but off the back of the respawn, Erica lands 2 quick raises, shutting down any attempt of having a successful team fight from Dire.
I mean, that was probably one of the best team fights that you could have hoped for, right? Like, you're fighting next to a tower, you've got a Lina free hitting, you land the Doom onto the DP, you take her out early, she's not able to get off the Guardian Greaves, and you still end up 1 hero down at the very end of it all, 2 of them being cores. So it just goes to show the state of play that Outsiders are going to have to play around with for the next little bit. Lina, at least off the back of that, was able to pick up her BKB. She's going into the Dragonlance, realizing that you're going up against this Shadow Fiend that's looking to itemize in a similar sort of way. So you've got to try and keep that outrange there, not just against him, but against the DP as well.
It was a cute little play from them with the dart to enable Ava to get on top of the Death Prophet. Wonder if we're going to continue to kind of see that throughout some of the fights.
Any cuties?
Definitely not you, brother. It's all right.
Wow.
I'll make up for it.
This is what I have to deal with, just toxicity in the workplace. Honestly, workplace bullying over and over again. So what do we got? Just coming through for the Shadow Fiend. I don't hate this, right? Just Chrysalis, if he wants to go Daedalus, I would understand that, but I feel like just more abilities, because you know you're probably not going to be the main target of the Doom. I want to see him go Silver Edge, just to be able to be a little bit more maneuverable in these team fights, to be able to position right on top of the Pango. Not on top of the Pango, but in a good position to be able to hit the Pango during the Rolling Thunder, or to be able to find that Lina, and if there's any hero that can deal a ton of burst damage in quick succession, it's Shadow Fiend relative to Alina.
Let's see if Dire can stall this push. They'll need the Doom to 100% protect it, which will be up in 15. A Glyph can definitely delay this. Maybe some spam of the Sleeping Darts along with the Swashbuckles, but...
This is without level 15 on the SF, by the way, and he's nearly soloing this tower. They use a really early Glyph as well when he'd been darted, so...
And now Ricky
joining.
Echoes actually is able to protect him for the moment. The Exo committed though. Do we feel like Outsiders from China can actually take the team fight into this as they're on top of XM? A defensive use of the BKB is going to enable the Lina to reposition. But Radiant, they're just swarming all over Ava. The Global Silence will prevent her from finding a Doom target. As Vici Gaming not only get the tier 2 tower, but are they going to be considering about high ground as well?
I mean, you use Rolling Thunder, you use BKB on the Lina and the Doom. I don't see why they wouldn't, but again, it's the respect between these teams. They know what they're capable of. They're going to try and catch them on the retreat, but I just don't feel like you could commit into this. What a great timing of that Global Silence coming through from Yang, by the way. Instantly after the Doom pops the BKB, realizing that you can't let him get off that key ability that could have potentially turned this fight.
That's going to be the difficulty for Outsiders for China. How can you kind of crack this puzzle of one person stunning up the Silencer to enable the Doom? You can't jump in, you can't use BKB to purge off the Global Silence, because otherwise the DP is going to silence you. Maybe Tusk will punch you up. You're going to need someone to try and deal with Yang's Silencer in these fights, and maybe that comes down to Echoes on the Pango, maybe the Rookie as well with the Sleeping Dart if you want to use it for that, instead of kind of enabling the Doom to get on the DP.
It's not like they have great, I guess you can call it backline dive as well on Outsiders, right? It's all about just enabling the Lina through the Rolling Thunder, not actually dealing damage to people like the Silencer. And I mean, Yang's gone, it's nothing super unorthodox, but he got a Wraith Band, for the laning stage, but it's just going to allow him to deal a good amount of damage in a lot of these team fights from the extra attack speed. Like, he's sitting top of the supports in terms of net worth right now. When I consider a Tusk and a Rubik also in the game, that's not really something I come to expect. So you're going to be happy to be able to pop the BKB whenever possible, and you can just see XM's going to be the main target for that, although might be a little bit of a bait here with Outsiders just sitting behind.
Look at the blink on Ava.
They do.
You see the Scorch Earth
DP still.
Bottom lane's in an okay position. Vici, they're actually going to look to go for their own smoke as well. Might try and connect to Setsu. I have prime position though with this high ground.
Smoke pop.
Erica's smoke's going to pop. These will as well, but Outsiders from China, they weren't all connected as a unit to potentially utilize that high ground advantage. They're going to try and back off. They do get... Did they get a ward down? No, they didn't get a ward down. That one was already placed, so I think that Dire are able to find with that smoke. do hold that because they are continuing to move. FY smoke's about to expire. But they want to jump this. Got to be cautious how deep you go close to the T2 tower. Echo's going to try and start the team fight, but the global silence will enable Vici to retreat, but it's actually Setsu. He wants to jump in, targeting down XM, who too will be protected. Yep, that's a trade. I mean, it's, what is it, global silence for Setsu's BKB along with the Lena's BKB as well.
And Rolling Thunder.
Biggest cooldown, but it is still nonetheless a cooldown, which you could take a fight with now. Both sides are still kind of grouped up.
This is a
Might
bit of an
be
easier
that's
pick,
actually
though.
caught off guard. Yama's going to jump in.
Surely.
Can they get the finishing blow? Yang, he won't even die.
Ooh, last word. Not enough.
Not enough. All right, I do want to mention, I think this XM Scotty timing could really turn this game around. If outsiders from China continue to play fights like they are, where they're not bleeding too many heroes and their net worth isn't actually growing, this Scotty is incredible this game against the range carrying the Shadow Fiend, against someone like the Death Prophet as well, a lot of the mitigation to the healing, and she wants to charge into the middle, and if you don't lock onto your target, it can be very easy to kind of reposition. And not only that, it's just stats, man. Like, for some reason, still this year, 350 talent for the health at 15, I should say, plus the Scotty, you're going to be so goddamn healthy. You're going to have so many stats to help survive.
You've got some defensive tools as well, right? You've got the sleep dart unless they commit the BKBs. You've got the smoke screen unless they commit BKBs. You've got the Rubik with the Aghanim Shard for the telekinesis lift. I'm seeing outside probably looking to go towards something like the Greaves. Of course, it's going to be able to let him purge off the global silence, but every little bit just to provide Lena the ability to get into the right position for her and be able to siege with a lot of those right clicks. And yeah, you mentioned the Skadi and the reasons that it's good. I mean, against the Shadow Fiend, any kind of range carry, it has a buffed up effectiveness. Of course, against the Death Prophet as well for the nullifying effect on the Spirit Siphon, as well as just the movement speed going through the BKB.
Don't do it. They're baiting Erica. I'm playing behind the Shadow Fiend at the moment. And if oh, we went the other direction of the tree line. Yeah, how many times I wonder if that happened to me in a game? Like when I play and like...
No, you're not that smart.
What?
You're not... Why am I roasting you? Have you not heard yourself this guy?
Yeah, but that was out of nowhere. Like, it was uncalled for. All I was saying is like, yeah, so I'm in the tree line and sometimes I wonder if I just narrowly survive. Like, but it's okay. I'm not that smart. You know, you go fuck yourself. You know, actually, no. I've had enough of you.
All right, well, we're going to get a tier 1 trade for a potential tier 2. Roshan's up as well, so the fact that they've taken away 2 tier 2 towers, the bottom one doesn't matter all that much, but I'm expecting to see Vici make a bit of a sweep across. If they could take tier 2 mid as well, fantastic. Grab the outpost and then look to go into this this next Roshan fight. It doesn't feel like they know Doom's positioning as well. He went for a kill onto the courier just then. Use the TP all the way back to base. I'm not really seeing the next...
No hesitation to jump into the tree line, and unfortunately the defensive telekinesis is not going to get enough distance away, and that pickoff might be enough for Roshan. Dire have done a pretty good job at getting some of the lanes shoved in, so Setsu's going to come into play.
Feel like they can take it without the Rubik, though. That's the big question. It's going to be a big part, not just for its offensive capabilities, the potential for a great team fight winning spell steal, but like we were mentioning before, the telekinesis, you've got to make sure that you're in a position to be able to save the Lena. And with that, tier 2 tower, all gone, outpost gone, courier, not quite, but again, there's really nothing stopping them from just going into this roast period, especially if they're able to scout out the fact that you've got XM and Xiaomar farming here. Find the pick off. Lena's actually TPing back, so they'll see her in the lane, and that'll give them the opportunity to say, hey, we take this pretty damn quickly. And why not committing with a tag team? I don't think that'll harm it too much, though.
Some big items were just picked up for outsiders for China, but unfortunately it's going to be too late. You just got the bash on the Pango. Ava just got 8th lens, which is going to help out a little bit with finding that Doom target, but really the important thing is this Skadi for XM, so... Even though you got the Aegis for Vici, which was given over to Erica, and I believe the Shard was given over to Setsu as well. Now, we did have it queued up,
they gave it to Erica as well. They initially gave it to New, because I wouldn't have hated it on New, but the thing is, he's still having to contend with these high BKBs, so the fear aspect isn't going to be quite as good.
So do we feel like with all the items that Dai just picked up that they can still actually take a team fight into this second Roche advantage that Vici are playing with?
I don't know, man. I mean, they might just choose to lead with Erica from now. You know, he's got the Aegis to be able to play around with. Of course, you've got the Exos, so you might just choose to pop it super early. Again, he's got Greaves, he's got BKB for himself. He's holding onto a Blast Rig as well, because he realizes that, once again, Vici have just been able to get through with a draft that's hard to kill. Yeah, it's just a question of who do you even go on at this stage. Love it. Setsu's what he's got queued up as well. He's going into a Lincoln Sphere saying, look, you essentially have to doom the DP, but even if you do, I'm not sure if you kill her.
A lot of these fights are going to come down to if outsiders from China can hold the line. Don't have this blink on DP nor the Shadow Fiend. Maybe the Doom, along with the Pango, can help protect the Lina. Put her on the back, allow those right clicks to get going. It's not going to be easy.
But again, though, lanes are all pushed in. Vici were sitting behind the mid wave just in case someone extended too far to try and push it out, and now they're just going to let Erica siege. He's going to get disarmed as well.
Look at that. FY straight over the Pangali with a global silence as well to help out securing the kill, and Setsu's just dancing. Remnants in and out. There's no opportunity for Ava to find the Doom target, and that was his BKB. So now how does Ava enter a team fight without the magic immunity?
It's gonna need to, but again, I feel like it's not just that you're having to play around with, it's the fact that you don't have Rolling Thunder. So, not super common to get a BKB on the Pango, but your Scepter Greaves, he's gone for the Greaves next, but it's just not going to be able to provide enough for him.
And now they won't have
This
this
is
full set of
clinical,
barracks
though,
down bottom.
from Vici. They're reading them like a book, and again, this comes from playing against a bunch of ex-teammates. You know what their default response is going to be. We're creatures of habits, humans, you know? Any habits that you got every day?
Amazing what you found laying around.
Hang on, Jalma. You gonna do this? You really gonna do this, Ava? Oh, he didn't get the Doom off the Requiem! Oh, the Requiem timing, no! They weren't able to get the Doom off fast enough, and now the Ricky's gonna be chased down as well.
And Rolling Thunder used as well. Bottom lane's pushing in. XM's going to have to go and deal with that. I wonder if with the Aghanim Scepter on Ember Spirit, he's going to try and at least force the BKB out of XM. Again, just bleeding every little resource that they've got dry. Lane's just going to continue to push in. You can still stand behind this SF for the next 2 minutes. Once he takes out this tower, he's going to have the Skadi as well for himself.
Two might go for it. He's got a DD to work with, and FY is going to follow a triple buyback. All right, you got to get something out of this. 3 buybacks, and maybe that's where Ava can come into play. This time they'll get the Doom onto the Death Prophet. Meanwhile, XM, he's been able to stand his ground and start layering the damage as well with the Shadow Fiend on the respawn. Can look to play around with the BKB, but they've got to be cautious. Erica won't be able to escape. The Skadi to slow him down, and Echoes with the swashbuckle from afar means that the bash potential from Erica, he can't win the man fight. He'll go onto the cover of the Shadow Blade, giving some time to retreat so Setsu can move in, and maybe XM's gone too far out. XM thought he could continue on to secure the kill, but they'll just run straight into Vici Gaming's trap.
They will indeed, and that gem as well that Setsu is holding at the moment ended up clearing out the only detection that they have as well. So SF getting the value out of the Shadow Blade, the Silver Edge, excuse me, that we were talking about before. You never really want to be buying back on a Lina unless it's to completely turn a fight, and this is basically just to ensure you're not getting tier 4 sieged at this point.
They might kill her again. Maybe they might just kill her again if Lina's gone.
No might
That's
about
just
it.
Game. Nice telekinesis from outside. The buyback on the Rubik would just keep XM alive to see another day, but you're going to be going up against Mega Creeps pretty shortly.
I mean, we've seen 3 stops in all reality, you know, completely one-sided off the back of these drafts, and well, outside he's going to go down as well, and fitting that might be the thing that causes outsiders to tap out at the very end. Mega Creeps, farmed SF. Yeah, the Aegis is gone, but I don't think that he can even do it. Is he going to get a Doom off again? No, still 30 seconds away on Ava, and he gets 4 hit.
He does an XM. Couple of crits, and he's going to be dispatched as well, along with the series going towards Vici Gaming. It was a nice attempt for outsiders from China. Unfortunately, some of the ex-Vici Gaming members will not be able to get their revenge today?
You know, they put him over their lap and gave him a bit of a spanking. Let's say it. You know, game one was a bit of an aberration. I'm sure that there's a lot of learnings that the coach Fenrir is going to be able to take from that, but